You might think that confidence is either something you have or you don't. And if you feel like you're not a confident person, you might not realize that it's actually a skill that you can develop and something you can teach yourself to have. You absolutely can learn how to be confident, and it's actually pretty easy. Even if you currently identify as someone who has low self-esteem and confidence. In this video, I'm taking a science-based approach on how to be confident, no matter how low you feel your confidence may be at the moment. By the end of this video, you're going to have the tools. I'm going to give you real actionable tips on how to be confident, or how to become even more confident if you already have a pretty decent self-concept, which you should, because you're amazing. Hi and welcome. I'm Amanda, a busy full-time working mom, and I help women just like you how to become aligned in your feminine energy despite all the masculine demands in your life. Below you'll find a link to sign up for my newsletter. I share helpful tips on how to become more aligned in your feminine energy and just how to enjoy your life more as a woman. So first, let's talk about what exactly is confidence and how do you get more of it? This may be different than what you expect or how you understand confidence to mean, but at its core, confidence is the ability to rely on yourself to do what you set out to do. Being able to rely on yourself and trust yourself. So if you're not able to rely on yourself, that's naturally going to take a pretty significant hit on your confidence. But as you slowly over time make and follow through on the commitments that you make to yourself, that will build up your self-concept and your confidence. But that's just one half of it. The other half is doing a remodel on your brain. Now, forgive me as I'm about to get a little bit nerdy on you. But in order to improve your self-confidence, you must improve your self-concept. And in order to do that, we need a brief science lesson and an open mind. Can you do that? If you're unfamiliar with the concept of neuroplasticity, it's the brain's ability to rewire itself. It's the brain's ability to create and rewire new neural pathways or neural connections throughout your life, especially in response to learning or experience. So that's the scientific proof that we need in order to believe that we have the ability to rewire our brains into whatever we want, and that's pretty amazing. So how do we rewire the brain? Well, it looks like adopting new repeated behaviors and thoughts in order to strengthen certain neural pathways. And it's that repetition that then makes it more natural. So at first, it requires repeated effort, but over time, that repeated effort literally rewires our brain. So that way it's no longer something that we need to consciously try to do because we're literally rewiring our subconscious. That's why the whole concept of fake it till you make it isn't inauthentic. It's just what we need to bridge the gap from one version of ourselves to the new version of ourselves. And it works. So in practice, a great way to do this is with affirmations, which essentially just means repeating positive statements to yourself, which by itself, if you're a skeptic, I can understand why you might think that sounds a little woo-woo or, well, dumb. But hopefully now that you understand the science behind neuroplasticity and the fact that it's the repetition that actually legitimately rewires our neural pathways, and which then rewires the thoughts of our subconscious that actually then become natural to us, you can start to believe in the fact that positive affirmations are absolutely a great and legitimate way to help create new and empowering thought patterns in your subconscious mind, leading to real and tangible change. And I just want to summarize it really quickly because I totally get the feeling, because maybe you're not like me, but this was my initial thought. My initial thought was, I can tell myself all day long that I'm not a procrastinator, but that's not actually going to change anything. That was before I understood how neuroplasticity and rewiring the brain actually worked. At first, you're using your conscious mind to consciously put effort into repeating these positive statements and rewiring your thoughts to be more positive and to be more empowering. And in turn, over time, after making that conscious effort, it legitimately becomes your new subconscious mind. It becomes your new default. Because consistently practicing new thoughts or behavior literally, actually, really, for real, reshapes how you feel and think about yourself, and therefore influences your actions, which in turn truly changes and improves your self-concept, which in turn makes you be more confident. It's science. You can't argue with science. I mean, maybe you can. Who am I to judge? You do you, boo. So let's talk about self-concept a little bit more. So positive self-talk is an absolute must. It just is. Because you will never genuinely rewire your brain to thinking that you're confident if you're talking badly about yourself to yourself. Do you see the disconnect? Do you see how that just literally cannot work? So you've got to replace those negative thoughts with empowering and affirming ones. Ones that will boost your self-image and your mindset. And I know that this will likely feel unnatural at first, and that's kind of the point. Because if it feels natural at first, unfortunately, that's because you've normalized the negative self-talk. Just think about that for a second. Think about for how long you have subconsciously been speaking to yourself negatively, that the idea of shifting your thoughts and your inner dialogue to become purely positive thoughts and things that you say to yourself, in order for that to feel so unnatural, think about how deeply ingrained, how normalized you've made talking to yourself negatively. That's why we need the conscious effort and repetition and some time for this, the positive self-talk, to become your new normal. At first, it's going to feel unnatural. It's supposed to. It's natural for it to feel unnatural at first, but give it time, give it repetition, commit to it, put in the conscious effort, and it will genuinely become your new unconscious normal. We're shifting gears to talk about the concept of detachment and self-awareness. And I'm only going to touch on it a little bit. I do have a video here where I talk all about detachment and how it's kind of the cheat code to life. But detaching is essentially recognizing that your value does not depend on anyone except for yourself, which is why your self-concept is so important as it relates to everything in life, but especially to your confidence levels. Because your confidence grows when you have a complete, full understanding of who you are and what you bring to the table. And that doesn't just mean knowing all of your strengths, but also understanding your weaknesses and accepting them for what they are, and if necessary, working to improve them. And understanding that the only person responsible for your happiness, your value, and your well-being truly is you yourself. You may have an absolutely loving and supportive partner, and they may love you and value you and be concerned for your well-being, and of course that's amazing, but he could die tomorrow. I'm so sorry to even say that. I'm so sorry to even put it out there, but it's just like the extreme case, right? You have nothing if you don't value yourself above all else. Another huge piece of confidence is feeling unshakable no matter what. And that doesn't mean not ever feeling like anything's going to upset you or bother you or shake you, but it does mean that you detach yourself at least to some degree to the outcomes of things, relinquishing some control, which is also, by the way, extremely feminine. To detach is to live and appreciate your life for exactly what it is and what you can control, and just letting go of what is outside of your control. Because it's really hard to be confident when you don't really know what's going on, or when you live your life feeling dependent on things that are completely out of your control. It's really hard to feel confident living your life that way. So I touched on it a little bit, but yes, of course, a huge piece of confidence is your self-concept. But another important piece of it is the ability to be able to rely on yourself, to know that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. And let me be clear, that doesn't mean pushing yourself to the absolute max. It might mean the exact opposite of that. Having confidence and trusting yourself in what you say you're going to do, that might look like you realize that you have been going at life full speed ahead for too long, you're exhausted, you're not happy, so you intentionally create a life of rest and ease. And that might not be your natural instinct. It might actually be really hard for you to stick to, but you make that commitment to yourself. And as you meet that commitment, you build confidence. Because if you can't rely on yourself to take care of yourself or to do the things that are necessary to get you to the most important goals in your life, that's going to take a significant toll on your confidence. I know I mentioned this earlier on in the video, so I don't want to hammer on it any longer, but it is really important, so I did want to make sure to just remind us of that again. If you want to be more confident, you need to cherish yourself, and that looks like taking care of yourself in a few different ways. Of course, the most obvious ways, making sure you're getting enough rest, that you're exercising your body, taking care of your muscles, eating good nutrition, drinking your water, getting outside. all that good, amazing stuff that you already know. I'm not going to get into it. I do have a video all about true self-care up here, and there's a big difference between how a lot of people talk about self-care. So if you're interested, you'll like that video. But it also means just doing whatever makes you feel amazing. Yes, about how you look on the outside, because when someone sees you, all they see is your exterior. They don't have a conversation with you. They don't get to know you. They see you. It is a huge piece of confidence that you're not only so sure of who you are on the inside, but that you like who you physically, visually present to the world. And that can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. All that matters here is that you feel good about how you present yourself to the world. It's not about doing the most. It's not about putting in all the effort. It is about authenticity. So for a lot of people, for me, it is getting all dolled up. This is how I feel most confident, but that doesn't mean that that's how my next door neighbor feels most confident. It doesn't matter what it means to anyone else. You know what that looks like for you. I talk about this concept a lot, but it's about determining your non-negotiables. So that means that you don't need, I don't leave the house in full glam every day, but I do have a 2.5 minute bare basic makeup look that I do. It's got maybe 4 steps to it. And I can do that really quickly, and then I feel great. It's about not necessarily always putting on an elaborate outfit, but always putting on clean clothes. If you have kids, especially little kids, you know that it can be hard to keep your clothes clean. I often leave my house in leggings and a sweatshirt, but it's always clean. There's never a peanut butter stain on it. And if you're not already, you need to start investing in yourself. Because sadly, the reason why you're not, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, is because you don't think you deserve it. So the more that you say yes to investing in yourself, even if your initial knee-jerk reaction is to say no, that's contributing to the rewiring of your brain. When you say yes to investing in yourself, you're rewiring your brain to understand that you are worth investing in. And the thing is, human nature is to value the things that we invest in, whether that be investing with time or money, whatever it may be. So when we invest in ourselves, it's proving to us that we value ourselves. And when we value ourselves, well, that makes us feel pretty confident, doesn't it? If you like this video, I know you're gonna love this one. It's all about how to become disciplined, but from a place of honoring your feminine energy and living a soft life that feels really good to you as a woman. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter below. There's nothing worse than a crappy newsletter, so I promise not to send you one. Subscribe to see more videos like this, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Stay aligned.